What is up, you guys? Glitchiz here, and welcome to an all-new Dauntless video. As I'm sure you guys have probably guessed by the intro video, today we're going to be talking about the brand new game mode coming to Dauntless called the Gauntlet, as well as all the other updates that are coming with patch 1.12.3. So let's jump right into it. There's a bunch to go over. So first things first, obviously we have the Gauntlet. Before I go into the deep dive of this, let's go over the other quick tips that are going to be coming. Weapon trackers, that's going to be a pretty cool update. We also have 3 new cells. These are going to be seasonal items. We'll go more in depth on that in a minute. We're also going to be getting new weekly story missions. This is the Reckoning. The portal driver is a mysterious device found in the shadows of the Umbral Deeps. It saved the people of Ramsgate not long ago, but at what cost? Activating the portal driver opened a portal away from the Sundered City, but it also knocked the entire etheric spectrum off balance. The Agris took root in a Farslayer homeland, the Urska awoke from a long slumber, the Chronivore appeared, the Thunderdeep Drask returned from extinction, new evolutions like the Frostwolf and the Fenroar, new variants like the Lightbound Boreas, the surge of Radiant Aether. All of this was connected to the imbalance of the etheric spectrum. Participate in new weekly story quests to help the Slayers of Ramsgate unite against this new disaster, one that they have unwittingly caused themselves. Now, this is kind of cool how they're getting more in depth on the lore, and a lot of this is going to tie into the Gauntlet and how these behemoths are ending up there. It's pretty cool. It takes place in Old Ramsgate, which is really exciting. For quality of life, some quick things. They added a set of new quick chat options related to the Gauntlet hunts for people that don't have microphones. Guild tags now display next to usernames in the social menu, and they improved the style of guild-related UI items displayed overhead in the airship lobby. And then for bug fixes, not many. They fixed holes in a number of the snow biomes. They updated objective text for the Reckoning X quest. For challenges, they fixed a number of challenge objectives that weren't displaying or tracking properly. And lastly, for UI, guild tags now properly display in all cases where nameplates are displayed, and they fixed Dark Harvest missing UI. So not a ton of things here, but most of it was to fix and or help things along to kind of correlate with the updates that are coming with the Gauntlet. But now, the moment we've been waiting for, let's go in depth on the Gauntlet itself. So the Gauntlet, Chase Infinite Valor, endless behemoth battles, cohesive guild play, unique arena perks, exclusive rewards, race against time as you take on level after level of challenging hunts amid the ruins of Old Ramsgate. Only the most valiant guilds will find a place among the Gauntlet leaderboard and earn coveted rank-based titles each season. Now, that is one cool thing. We will have a guild leaderboard now, and this is all going to be tied to the Gauntlet. And depending on where you place on that leaderboard, your guild has a chance to earn one of 3 special titles. These may, from what I hear, reset every season. They'll come up with a unique one for the whatever theme they're going for. But for this particular season, the 3 we have to go for is the Explorer of Old Ramsgate title, which is for any guild that completes just level 1. So it's basically a free title as long as you're doing the bare minimum. The second one is called the Defender of Old Ramsgate, I believe, and that is for the top 100 guilds on the leaderboard at the end of season 1. And then the final one, and the rarest one, is the Champion of Old Ramsgate, and that is for only the top 5 guilds that finish on the top 5 of the leaderboard at the end of season 1. So pretty cool that they're adding that feature, and it gives something for guilds and team play to kind of shoot for and work for. Moving on, we have endless behemoth battles. Complete 5 behemoth battles and beat the timer to unlock the next level. Once you unlock the game mode through the Slayer's Path and you go into your hunt and you select it, you will see that there's multiple levels. They will gradually get stronger as the levels go on. And every 5 levels is a milestone where you'll get a new currency called crests, and that is what you use to unlock the items, which we'll go over here in a minute. Push your limits as you run the Gauntlet level by level. How high can your guild climb before the season ends? We will find out. Moving on, and this is important, guilds will go further. Now, you can do all of the Gauntlet content solo, but it is highly recommended that you do it as a guild in a pre-made group, because unlike the other game modes, the behemoths in this Gauntlet event do not scale with your level or how many how many Slayers you have in your party. That is a set difficulty every single time. So obviously, the more players you have organized in your group, the better, because you're going to be doing more damage. If you go in solo, it's still doable up to a certain point. It gets really, really hard, but you're basically handicapping yourself because you're just going to be doing 4 times less damage than you would if you had a party. Plus, if you do it with a group and your guild, you get some bonuses. So you get bonus milestone rewards. Each extra reward, or earn extra rewards whenever your guild reaches a certain milestone. You get collective level advancement. So when any 3 members of your guild complete a level together, that level is unlocked for the entire guild. So if you're falling behind for whatever reason and you're in a guild, you won't have to worry about missing out on the lower ones as long as you have one dedicated group that's burning through those tiers. That will unlock all of them for your entire guild. Then lastly, obviously you have the leaderboard rankings and then the leaderboard rewards, which for this case is the 3 new titles you can go for. Moving on to the actual Gauntlet arena, we have arena perks. Now this is really important, especially when you get into those higher levels. Discover 3 interactive arena perks amid the ruins of Old Ramsgate. Each perk can be used only once per hunt. Optimize when you use them to maximize the benefit you gain within the hunt. So there's basically 3 zones to the Gauntlet. There's the Plaza, which is the one you enter right when you first go in. You have the Forge, which is off to the right, and then you have the Hangar, which is off to the left. And each one of these zones, there's a special arena perk that you can activate once per run. In the Plaza, you can visit the old Alchemist station where the Alchemist building used to be to resupply all of your consumables. This includes tonics, pylons, grenades, stims, and flasks for those revives and things like that. So round 1, you may not want to get this. You might want to save it until you come back to like the 3rd or 4th behemoth that shows up in this front area and pick up the buff then to replace everything. Moving on to the Forge. This is a really handy buff, which you obviously might not want to use right away either. Interact with the Forge at the old crafting area to receive a temporary but significant damage boost. And this is for, again, your whole party. So use that wisely. It's really good for taking out these behemoths because they are pretty strong at higher levels. And then last but not least, we have the Hangar. A crashed airship in front of the hangar has a functioning harpoon that fires in a straight line. If you or one of your teammates fires this harpoon, it will deal massive damage and heavy stagger to any behemoth that it hits. So really handy tool there, and it's really good for KOing the behemoths and making the fights much, much easier. But again, much like the other arena perks, you can only use this once per run. So you're going to be fighting, excuse me, 5 to 6 behemoths in a certain level run. So you have basically 1 to 2 chances to go to any given area to use that perk. So if you don't get it the first time, be sure to get it the second time because you most likely won't go back there for a 3rd time. But yeah, so strategically plan that out. Use those to your advantage. Very helpful. Moving on, we have reaping the rewards. Earn crests, which is a new currency, by completing milestone levels by yourself and with your guild. Each season, exchange them at Dr. Priani's research lab, which is a new store menu in the same location in your menu as your reward cache and your hunt passes. And within there, you will use those crests in the research lab for weapon trackers, which is a new thing that's being added to the game, and themed cells. So let's move on to weapon trackers. Ever wanted to know how many behemoths you've slain or how many interrupts you performed with a specific weapon? Introducing weapon trackers, a new way to keep track of your hunt statistics and flaunt your achievements. Track statistics show up on your character's nameplate and can be seen by everyone. You may equip up to 3 trackers per weapon. The way you do that is just by going to your inventory, clicking on your weapon, and in the same scroll down menu that you have for your cells and the mods and abilities, if you go all the way to the bottom, you'll now see 3 stat tracker slots that you can input. Few things that you do want to keep in mind that they don't mention here, though, is that the crests that you use to buy the weapon trackers are a one-time use. So once you buy a weapon tracker and you equip it to your weapon, you cannot remove it. It is used up, and that is a one-time use type of thing. And the only way you can remove it from that weapon is by replacing it with a different tracker, which then removes that pre-existing tracker and replaces that stat with a new one, or swapping a brand new matching tracker with one that's already there, and that will keep the same tracker but revert all of your progress back to 0. So that is something to keep in mind. You do only get to use these one time, so pick and choose them wisely. Moving on, the new thing with patch 1.12.3 is we now have theme cells in correlation with the Gauntlet. So Craft the perfect build with 3 new theme cells every single season. These cells have a seasonal theme and will only be obtainable via the research lab while a season is underway. So when you go into the research lab store, you have the 3 sections. One will be for your stat tracker buy options, and there's a ton of them that I can go over real quick. We've got Behemoth Slain, Wounds, Players Revived, Damage Dealt, Dodges, Gatherables, Staggers, and Interrupts. So there's a ton of them to choose from. The next page is going to be your 3 themed cells for that season. This particular season, we have Stop, Drop, and Roll, which is pretty cool. I'll go over those real quick. So for Stop, that is a new Brutality cell, and at +6, what that does is dodging through a behemoth's physical attack will deal up to 250 instant stagger damage to the behemoth's head. So you can see how that can combo with a lot of cool things, especially if it's a stagger heavy build like with hammers or strikers. But you can also combo that with avatars and like the frost escalation where stagger can be really beneficial. So some really cool, interesting things that I found with testing. Be sure to test it out yourselves. Let me know what you think and what theme cell this season you think is the best. I'd love to know. The next one we have is a new insight cell called Drop. And what that does at +6, your stamina regenerates more quickly, but the amount regenerated is reduced by 75% of your maximum. So this is good for like chain blades, anything adrenaline based where you do more damage with the less stamina you have, but you want to be able to regenerate that quickly so you still have some. It's a good little combination that you can throw in there. Moving on, last but not least, we have a new Alacrity cell, and this is Roll. And what that does at +6 is it causes you to have your next 10 dodges cost 0 stamina after staggering a behemoth. So, I mean, you can imagine with like Tempest builds and fast weapons where you're rolling around a lot, where that could come in really handy. The stats, depending on how many points you put in, are 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, and 2 dodges respectively, given the level. So you'll be getting a less amount of free dodges depending on how many points you put into it. The other thing to keep in mind, which they don't tell you here, is that these cells, again, are only available in the research lab, and it's only a +1 version. So if you want the +2 or +3 versions, you're going to have to rerun those 5-level milestones over and over again to get enough crests to buy multiple of those +1s, so you can then obviously infuse them and create the +2 and +3 variations of it. Now, I don't know 100% if the cells are going to go away, these theme cells, at the end of each season. If they don't, I will assume that once the season ends, these will open up and you'll be able to get them regularly like any other cell within your Slayer cores there that you get. So yeah, keep that in mind. Last but not least, quick FAQ. How do I get access to the Gauntlet hunts? You can unlock Gauntlet hunts on the Slayer's Path after reaching the final milestone and completing your first weapon reforge. Another quick thing that they don't tell you through testing that I found out is that when you first log in on patch day, there's actually going to be a quest available related to the Gauntlet from Dr. Priani. So I would do that first. I would run up, talk to her, grab that quest. It has 3 quick, easy steps. And the first step is actually unlocking the node within your Slayer's Path. And in order to do that, you have to reforge a weapon. So head over to the Reforge machine, and any level 20 weapon you have, just quickly reforge it. You'll get your free Aether Heart, but it will also unlock the ability to unlock the node within the Slayer's Path for the Gauntlet. And then obviously once you're in there, you'll go into your hunt menu, the Gauntlet option will be there, and you'll be able to pick through the levels you want and go from there. Can I play Gauntlet as a solo player? Yes, you may, but teaming up with others in a guild will allow you to enjoy all the guild benefits listed above. This is common sense, same thing we mentioned before. There is no difficulty level or scaling of the behemoths based on the levels in the Gauntlet. So the more players you have, the easier it's going to be and the further you're potentially going to get. Can I switch guilds partway through a season? Yes, you may, but you will only be able to claim each guild milestone reward once. And if you join a guild in the final 2 weeks of a season, you won't be able to claim any of the guild rewards. So make sure you don't wait till the last minute. You also lose access to any Gauntlet levels your previous guild had unlocked if the levels are higher than what you have individually unlocked. So keep that in mind. Why can't I queue for Gauntlet levels I have already unlocked? In this case, it is because someone in your hunting party has not yet unlocked that level, either individually or via their guild. Your party is limited to the lowest level unlocked among all party members. So make sure that if you have a certain level in mind that you want to do, everyone has to have that level unlocked. You are limited to the lowest level person. How do I earn crests? We kind of went over this as well. Earn crests by completing Gauntlet milestone levels by yourself or as part of a guild. In Season 1, the milestone levels are every 5th level, so 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. Do crests expire? Yes. Crests earned during the season can only be used for that season's rewards. A last chance tab in the research lab will be available for some time after the season ends for you to spend your remaining crests, but once your crests have expired, any unused crests will then be converted into rams and added to your total balance. And then last but not least, can I move a weapon tracker from one weapon to another? We already went over this as well. No. Once you have equipped a weapon tracker in a weapon, the only way to remove it is to replace it with another one. And then again, if you replace it with the same one, it keeps the stat but reverts it back to 0. So that is pretty much it. If you guys found this video informative, be sure to smash that like button. Also, we are obviously going to be getting the Glitch Gang guild back up and running. We've had a lot of active players still, even though I know I've been gone for a minute. That are really excited about getting to the top of those leaderboards. So if you're interested in joining a really fun guild with a lot of really cool people, consider clicking the links down in the description and joining us on the Glitch Gang Discord. That is where we all meet up and get our parties together, and that is where we'll be meeting up, especially for the Gauntlet when it drops tomorrow. We will also be giving out a bunch of free hunt pass codes and boost codes as well. So if you think you're feeling a little lucky, then consider hitting the link and joining us there as well. We'd love to see you around. But yeah, until the next one, you guys, if you want to keep up to date on my future content, consider subscribing, and I hope you had a great day. Take it easy.